So last night, all the top journalists were coming out with their updates. Fabrizio Romano gave it the signature, here we go. That means it's happening. He's going to be an Arsenal player at Eze from Palace. We understand the deals will be 60 to 68 million pounds, so not miles off, if not pretty much hitting the release clause that was there in place, but Palace are honouring that fee, which works out for all parties. David Ornstein has said that Eze is set for a medical. He's going to be an Arsenal player. We'll be waiting for the announcement. We're waiting for the news. I can't even speak this early in the morning. We'll be waiting for the news that he's going to be wearing the number 10 shirt. And the internet just went crazy with it, right? Everyone was having such a blast, and rightly so. It's a massive signing. It's probably the most exciting signing for me since Declan Rice, Aubameyang before that. I think it's a huge one. Now, what I want to talk about is how this deal got done. Because while we've had all the journalists bring in the really kind of positive news on the Arsenal front, there's the journalists that cover Spurs who have come in really with all the points as to how this slipped through their fingers and what went wrong. Arsenal hijacked this deal. I've got a little theory about it, which we'll get onto in a sec. But I want to talk about what's been said from their perspective. Now, I've got their reports here. Alistair Gold, who is one of, if not the top journalist when it comes to Tottenham news, he tweeted last night, "What a mess. He understands Spurs agreed to Palace's terms today and had agreed terms with Eze. The player was ready to come to Tottenham. Palace hadn't finalised the deal as they wanted him available for tomorrow night's European game. So I wonder whether he's going to play tonight." But that would be really weird, actually, because now he's agreed to move to Arsenal. I can't imagine Arsenal will be too happy with that. But they were waiting, Palace, to finalise that move to Spurs because he was going to play tonight. Spurs thought they had a deal agreed. They'd agreed to Palace's terms. Everything was there, done on their end. Club to club, that was done. And the player had even agreed the move. Though some ITKs in the space, one in particular, Transfer Check, who's always said that Arsenal were in this race, actually said there was a bit of a reluctant yes for Eze because he'd been waiting a while for Arsenal. Now, we'll come in a sec. There's some more stuff I want to read to you. But essentially, Havertz getting injured, we still don't know the time frame, might well have been the reason Arsenal went and did this Eze deal, but I've got a theory on that. So, Alistair Gold then says, then came Arsenal in late this afternoon, also agreeing to Palace's terms, and the player chose Arsenal due to his connection to them. Another number 10 loss when Spurs thought it was done. Not a good look spending so long on a deal only for another club to get him within a day. He then says, a window that should have delivered so much than it has by this point. Plenty of talk, but Thomas Frank's squad just isn't strong enough at this point. It's also another public embarrassment in the market. Spurs need to react strongly for Frank's sake as much as the fans. Matt Law then came in with a couple bullet points. Tottenham fully agreed terms with Palace and Eze. Palace will not finalise the transfer because they want Eze to play tomorrow night. Arsenal made their move late in the afternoon. Eze has an emotional affinity to Arsenal, favours them. Bitterly disappointed for Tottenham, but they feel they have done everything possible to sign Eze. Now, this is where I want to come in with my theory on what's gone on here. Because I'm trying to think, did Arsenal really see Kai Havertz get injured and think, okay, well, we'll spend 68 million on a player that doesn't actually play in his position? And I thought, well, maybe. I mean, that's what I've been advocating for, right? In all my ranting yesterday about Kai Havertz's injuries, what I kept saying to people was, you can still solve the problem of an injured striker via signing Eze because you move the pieces around, and whether it's Marina you want to go for up front. Like last year, well, there you've got your left eight in Eze. Whether you want to move Trossard or Martinelli up front, you've got your left winger in Eze. But quite frankly, I think he's a starting left winger anyway. It's really interesting how this has all been developing. And when I look at it and I look at the stories, some have even come out and said, I can't remember, I think it was Fabrizio Romano came out and said that actually Arsenal were in advanced talks for a few days with Eze. So maybe they caught wind of this Havertz injury, which we now know happened against Manchester United. That's been confirmed. He got injured by Ugarte at Old Trafford. So that was on Sunday. So he would have told the medical team quite quickly that there was something wrong, and Arsenal might well have got on with this deal quite quickly. But here's the theory that's done the rounds, and I've got to say, I think there's something to it. Did Berta wait? Because some people on Twitter were suggesting this is what was going on. Some ITKs, I think, were talking about it too. Was Berta waiting for Tottenham to agree the deal, only to swoop in last minute and say, great, those are your terms, Palace, we'll match them. In fact, we'll slightly better them Eze, we know where you want to come. You want to come home. And if that's the case, was that the plan all along, regardless of Kai Havertz? I'm really interested in this. I imagine when the signing's announced, more will come out. I don't know if Arsenal would ever come out and sort of publicly say, yeah, we always wanted him, but we were waiting for kind of Tottenham to agree a deal. I imagine if we get anything along the lines, when the PR and everything comes out, I imagine if we get anything along the lines of, actually, sorry, bear with me one sec, guys. Cool, there we go. I think if anything comes out along the lines of Arsenal had been working on this deal for a little while, blah, blah, blah. You know, they were trying to decide between him and an out-and-out winger, all this. Then I think we can actually take from that they were waiting for Tottenham to agree a deal. But if the PR and everything that comes out is basically saying Arsenal are happy with their options, but injury to Kai Havertz meant they had to act, then I think we can take it on good authority that they've done the deal simply because of the Havertz injury. I don't think the two should have been linked, but we'll wait to find out. But that's the story on how it slipped through Tottenham's fingers. They've been working on this for a long time. We need to remember that they wanted Morgan Gibbs-White. At the same time as they were trying to sign Kudus, they only ended up with Kudus. By the way, everyone knows how much I rate the player, so I'm not trying to play that down too much. But they couldn't get Gibbs-White, a number 10. Okay, so they moved on to potentially Eze. When they saw that Arsenal weren't making any real ground in that deal, they've gone in big for him. They basically said, well, we'll do the deal, we'll do the money. We had 60 million towards Gibbs-White, we'll put a little bit more in. We want to get Eze, who was very reluctant to sign for Tottenham because he's literally an Arsenal fan. He's on record saying he's an Arsenal fan. He played for us growing up as I think he was quite young when he left, but he has played for the club as a youngster in the academy. And again, Arsenal waited till the last minute. They wanted Savinho to Tottenham. Man City digging their heels in, saying that's not a deal they're willing to do. And now Tottenham look like they're going to end up with neither Savinho or Eze, which would be a massive, massive disappointment after looking like they were going to have both, with Kudus in there too. 3 players that I thought, wow, they'd all start for us. And apparently they were willing to offer the likes of Richarlison and others. And I wonder whether that is something that played a massive problem, was a massive problem for Tottenham, or played a massive part in this. Because there were rumours they were willing to offer a load of players, you know, en route to trying to sign Eze. And you wonder, did that just slow the deal down for them? Did it scupper it for them? Did they just take that little bit too long trying to sort of meet the terms in other ways before Arsenal came in? But to be honest, I know Tottenham fans are really disappointed. I'm not here to tell Tottenham fans how to feel, but I will say this, and I don't mean this in a condescending way, I really don't. I'm not looking down on them. I'm not trying to be like that in any way, shape or form. I will just say this. If Tottenham did everything to get the player in and they agreed the deal and, you know, the player agreed last minute and they met the fee, and Arsenal come in last minute and match the offer and the player wants them, is there really much they could have done? You know, I know Tottenham fans are really disappointed, but is there really much that could have been done from their end? If Arsenal were always waiting, and this is the crucial thing, if Tottenham took too long and because of the Havertz injury Arsenal came and they missed it, then I understand the frustration. But if it's simply a case of actually Arsenal always kind of waiting to come in and do the deal last minute, then I don't really see how Tottenham can be blamed too much for not getting this done. I don't know if there's a lot they could have done. But anyway, that's supposedly what happened behind the scenes. But I imagine more will come out and we will react to it as and when it does come out. But anyway, Arsenal are signing Eberechi Eze, people. I'm really excited. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll catch you all in a bit.